and good evening, everyone. I'm back with another funny folk tale for all of you here at Silvergood. My name is Priti Modylyer, and I am a storyteller. Today, I'm going to tell you a really funny folk tale that first came to me when I moved here to Singapore, and it's always been one of my favorites now for a long time. I love telling it, though my kids have heard it way too often. So has my family and friends as well. So, you, ladies and gentlemen, are my new audience. And I'm so excited to share it with you because it really does give me joy. It tells me so many lovely things, and we can talk about those a little later. But right now, I want to know if you know what a tapir is. Do you? Well, I'll show you a picture later, but a tapir is a strange black and white animal, and it's really quite interesting to look at. Well, a long, long time ago, the tapir had a beautiful long tail. And this story comes from a time when the people lived simple lives and the animals and human beings were all part of the same world. Little Goat was called Little Goat only because he never got any bigger, no matter how much he ate. We all know people like that. And I always tell them, you and I cannot be friends. But let's get back to the topic. Anyway, so Little Goat once lived a very, very happy life in a small little kampung in Malaysia. And one day, very close to Ramadan or Hari Raya, he overheard the farmer and his wife talking. "We will not be having so many guests. I think we can kill Little Goat for the feast." His wife agreed, and Little Goat was shocked and horrified. All along, he had thought that he would not be slaughtered, or he would be the last to be slaughtered because he was so tiny. And here they were going to kill him in what, 2 days, 3 days? He couldn't sleep all that night. And therefore, the next morning, when all the other goats went out into the field, happily basking in the sun and jumping around and eating the grass, Little Goat was very miserable in the corner. All the other goats wondered what was happening and asked him, "Well, I'm going to be slaughtered in a few days." "Oh no!" "Yes, I am." "Oh, you have to get out of here." "If I get out of here, what's to stop one of them? What's to stop the farmer and his wife from slaughtering one of you?" "Oh no, yes, we all have to get out of here." "Hmm, tell us, Little Goat, if we run to the kampung, they will catch us and they will bring us right back. What shall we do?" Don't worry, I have a plan." And then, before midnight, he told them, "Tonight, we will all run away, very quietly, into the jungle." The goats agreed, of course. And at midnight, as decided, all the goats slipped out of their pen and began to walk slowly out. They reached the edge of the kampung and then went into the jungle. And they began to run. into the deep, dark night. They jumped over streams. They flew over boulders. They leaped over logs. And they ran for their lives. Because literally that is what they were doing. They did not stop to take a single breath and ran as fast as they could. But they stayed together all the way through the night until dawn. And when dawn was just breaking, they found themselves at a little clearing. At that time, they saw a beautiful patch of green grass, a lovely little stream flowing close by, a large bunch of rocks. And Little Goat said, Ah, ah, this is beautiful. This is really beautiful. I'm sorry, I was afraid of that. Excuse me. Sorry about that. And Little Goat just found that beautiful grass and he told his herd, let's stay here. The other goats were extremely happy to rest. And then when they just were extremely happy to get their fill of the sweet stream and enjoy the sunshine as it came. Some of them even fell asleep. But Little Goat rested for a little while, but he didn't really let his guard down because he knew that he was in the jungle. And sure enough, he saw a leopard going around their field. Some of the other goats smelt him as well and were frightened. Don't worry. Just follow me. When he was very sure that the leopard could hear him, Little Goat began to say loudly, puffing himself up, there's only one leopard and so many of us. I'm sure we can make an excellent meal of him, scrawny though he is. We haven't eaten leopard in a long time. And then he said, follow me. You can follow me as well if you like. And then he began to stamp his hooves loudly, literally till the ground seemed it was going to shake. And louder, he began to chant, we will eat him. You want to try? We will eat him. And the goats did the same. They began to stamp their hooves and they began to chant louder and louder into the forest. The poor leopard, he was so shocked that he didn't stop to think. And he quickly ran with his tail between his legs into the forest. And he ran so fast and so far that he did not see where he was going. And there he found, on the way, he tripped, as is bound to happen if you don't look where you are. And he tripped, and when he looked around to see what it was his friend, the tapir, who was basking in the sun, enjoying himself after a meal probably. And what he had tripped on was his tail. Where are you going, running so fast, brother leopard? There's a bunch of goats in the forest. Goats? Yeah, goats. Goats, bloodthirsty, vicious, extremely scary. So many of them. And they all want to eat me. leopards. Goats don't eat leopards at all. They are not bloodthirsty. They are not vicious. They are not scary. You didn't see them. These were not. They did. They were. You didn't see them. You didn't see them at all, he said. You don't believe me? I don't believe you. Then come with me. I'll show you. Oh, all right, all right, all right. But I will tie our tails together so that you cannot run away when you see them. Okay, you can tie our tails together. So saying, the leopard tied the tapir and his own tail into a tight knot. And they began to walk towards the goats. Little Goat was sure that they would come back. So he had climbed up on those rocks and was keeping watch. As soon as he could see them in the distance, he knew what he had to do, and it looked like, there was a tapir with the leopard. So he called his herd quickly and told them, okay, listen quickly now. Run to the stream. There you remember the bushes with the red berries. I want you to eat some of them. And I want you to make sure that you eat sloppily. Make sure that the juice dribbles all down your beard and over your bodies. And bring back some for me too. The goats did as he asked, and they tore into the bushes. They ran in and gobbled up the berries, and when they came back, the juice was dripping down their faces, and their bodies were smeared with red. They gave Little Goat the berries, and Little Goat began to munch them too. And soon his mouth and beard were dripping too. His mouth was covered in red juice. And by now, the leopard and the tapir were very close. So he climbed back up onto the rock, and he said, "Ah, ha, 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 leopard, there you are. Ah, I see you have a friend with you. Good. Just after you left, a tiger came by, and we have made a very good meal of him. But where there are so many of us, and we are still hungry, you and your friend will make a fine dessert. Come closer." The leopard and the tapir were shocked. The leopard actually froze in place, while the tapir could not believe his eyes. It seemed to him as if the mouths of the goats were dripping with blood. He turned to the leopard. You tricked me. I should never have believed you. I thought you were my friend. I need to go." Before he could turn to go away, the leopard, who was frozen, suddenly unfroze and began to pull the other way. No, 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 don't leave me. He was sure the leopards would catch him now. And they both began to pull each other in opposite directions. As they began to pull, they suddenly felt a tug and a stretch. Oh my God, have the goats got us? Got me? And they began to pull harder and harder. In their fear, they did not remember that they had tied their tails together. And as they began to pull, there was a pull and a stretch and a tug and the tapir's beautiful long tail came off. The leopard ran in one direction, the tapir ran in another, never to return, and never to be friends again, of course. Meanwhile, the tail of the bloodthirsty goats grew in that part of the forest, and Little Goat and his herd lived happily for the rest of their lives, enjoying the delicious, sweet stream, lovely grass, and the juicy red berries. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why the tapir does not have a tail. The end. I hope you've enjoyed this story. Like I said, it's one of my favorites simply because I cannot imagine goats being bloodthirsty, though I know they can be a bit vicious with their sharp horns. And I love the idea of why this lovely strange animal that I had seen only for the first time when I came to Singapore does not have a long tail like all other animals. I enjoy thinking of Little Goat and his quick-wittedness. It gives me hope that someday, somehow, it doesn't matter how little we are, but a quick thought and staying together with our friends and being together might just save us all. Please do go ahead, share this story with your friends, tell your families, tell your kids, and I will see you again soon. Thank you.